Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's January 31st, 2017, a Tuesday. I'm technically on book writing vacation right now, made a lot of progress today. I want to take a moment to cover this evening's headline because it's such a rare headline. This is a nominee to be a member of the Supreme Court, one of 9 seats, which is a lifetime appointment. This man, who's been nominated by Donald Trump today, would be the youngest Supreme Court appointment at the age of 49. In a moment, we're going to talk about what's so interesting about the age of 49 in regards to Washington, D.C. But what I want you to understand in this video is that this nomination coming today, January 31st, 2017, this Tuesday, is no coincidence. This is all part of the ongoing ritual that began with the death of Antonin Scalia, February 13th, 2016, the first day of Lupercalia. If you missed my videos from last year on his death, I have a number. Have an Antonin Scalia death playlist you can check out. But anyhow, I'm going to show you why today and how this is synced up perfectly with the death of Antonin Scalia. So let's begin with the headline. CNN always encodes their headlines in the language of gematria. This is the book I'm writing about, History by the Numbers. How history has been contrived from the beginning of this nation up to the present by the numbers. And today's news is a shining example. I could even stick it in the book if I wanted to. So Trump picks Gorsuch, which is no surprise. A few days ago, a week ago, I put out a video on why this would probably be the nominee, why he had the right name gematria, which we're getting to. But notice this headline, Trump picks Gorsuch. In gematria, sums to 84, this special number to the nation, United States of America, 84, the Twilight Zone, 84, Divide and Conquer, 84, Order Out of Chaos, 84. Divide and Conquer, Order Out of Chaos, these are Masonic mottos. These are Jesuit mottos, the Masonic order within the Catholic Church. Antonin Scalia was a Catholic, which we'll get to. Donald Trump is a Jesuit. I'm not sure about this man nominated today, but it's not a stretch to imagine that he himself is a Jesuit, this Gorsuch for the Supreme Court. But notice, the word Jesuit is 84, just like the word lawyer, just like the word states. Very special number. Antonin Scalia died on February 13th, the 44th day of the year. There's a relationship between 44 and 84 in numbers. The day Scalia died on was called Lupercalia. Lupercalia sums to 44. This is a number that's connected to death. The word execution is 44. The word ranch 44. The word kill 44. The number 4 is connected to death in Asian cultures. In Mandarin Chinese, the same word for death is the number 4. But anyhow, the divisors of 44 sum to 84. Special numbers to this nation, relevant to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the 45th president, but the 44th man to be president. The last president, Obama, was number 44, but the 43rd person, Obama's birthday was supposedly August 4th. The name Obama in Jewish gematria is 84. Obama was said to be a lawyer. Anyhow, this man getting the nominee today, January 31st, 1/31. Look at his name. In gematria, his name sums to 131. Today's January 31st, 1/31. Special number. He is also the nominee to be the 113th Supreme Court Justice. 113, a reshuffling of those numbers. The number 131 is the 32nd prime number, which is relevant. America equals 32. Date of independence, a date with 32 numerology. Middle degree of Scottish Rite Freemasonry. The word Scottish is 113, which we'll get to. Today's date is also a date with 49 numerology. He's the youngest nominee. He'd be the youngest member to take the bench for the Supreme Court in the history of the country. Or excuse me, I just heard them say on CNN that he was the youngest appointment ever, but it looks like right here in their headline says youngest in last 25 years. So perhaps somebody's been younger. But notice, he is age 49. Today's date has 49 numerology. And Washington in Gematria sums to 49. His birthday is August 29th, 1967. He'll turn 50 later this year. From his last birthday, his 49th, to today is a span of 156 days. Here's why that's interesting. If you write out 33 as a word, it sums to 156. Washington, D.C. is the head of the federal government. Notice these words with 33 gematria. Federal, order, masonry, secrecy. The word justice has gematria of 33. You know what else does? So does the name Antonin. Let me show you the name Antonin, who he's replacing. Antonin equals 33 and 113, which we'll get to. This man's becoming the 113th Supreme Court Justice. But notice, 33, big number. Washington, D.C. also sums to 137, like American Meridian, the name of the meridian D.C.'s on, just like authority. The reason Morals and Dogmas up here is because that's the book written by the Freemason Albert Pike, the only the South from the Confederate War, the only Southern general with a statue in Washington, D.C., in his honor. No other Confederate general has a statue besides Albert Pike, who wrote Morals and Dogma, the very important text to the Freemasons. Notice the gematria of 137, 137, the 33rd prime number. You see? So this, coming 156 days after his birthday, a number connected to 33, very relevant to Washington, D.C., very relevant to Antonin Scalia, the justice who he's replacing. To his upcoming 50th birthday, let me show you something about 50. The name America, using the alphabetic order, which is what this ordinal is, the name America in gematria sums to 50. So does the name Donald. America and Donald. This is Donald Trump's first appointment to the Supreme Court. Likely not his last. There's some elderly people on the Supreme Court. So anyhow, his upcoming 50th birthday is 211 days from today. 211 is the 47th prime number. Notice how we're talking about these prime number relationships. 131, the 32nd prime. 137, the 33rd prime. 211, the 47th prime number. The word judge, using the alphabetic order, is 47, like the word gavel, what a judge uses to get order. Like the word obey, you better obey the judge or there could be consequences. Authority, 47. Framework, 47. Foundation, 47. Think about this nation's birthday, a nation of laws and lawyers, the 4th day of the 7th month. The Freemasons have something called Euclid's 47th problem about how to establish foundation for a structure. So here's the point about him being the 113th justice. Special number, Scottish 113, mainstream 113, dishonest 113. Just like the words justice and Antonin and Francis Bacon gematria. Special justice here, coming in at the age of 49. Something else I want to point out about his name, his full name, Neil Gorsuch. Gematria of 187. Special number we've seen all over Donald Trump's campaign. Donald Trump's GOP convention in Cleveland began July 18th, Yeah, that's right. July 18th, which is 18/7, as most parts of the world write it, the day before the month. From that day, July 18th, to Inauguration Day was a span of 187 days. And in terms of U.S. presidents, this is what I've been pointing out all year. The name George Washington equals 187, using the alphabetic order, reducing it 88, connecting to the name Trump. And also the last Republican president, George W. Bush, was born July 6th, the 187th day of the year. So Donald Trump, a little 187 connection. The last Republican president had it. Think about the name George W. in light of George Washington, So anyhow, from Scalia's death on the 44th day of the year, February 13th, 2016, to today is 353 days. And something I often talk about on this channel is how if you watch Hollywood movies, TV shows, when they show the inside of a church, if you pay attention to the background, they'll often put up the number 353. I think this is interesting because the word Catholic equals 35 and the word religion equals 53. In the Catholic Church, there's the 53 Hail Marys to the Rosary. Rosary equals 33. Anyway, 35, 53 within that number. And we're talking about since the death of a Catholic Supreme Court justice. Antonin Scalia, known for being a Roman Catholic. And likely himself a Jesuit. I pointed out many things last year after Scalia died. One of the most interesting things that came to my mind right away, and then when I saw how it connected, it blew my mind, was, when you heard about Antonin Scalia dying on a ranch, quail hunting in Texas, what it made me think of right away was the incident with Dick Cheney, the vice president who accidentally shot a lawyer while quail hunting in Texas. And I thought, I always thought that was a weird news story with Dick Cheney. I wonder if there's any parallel here with this story of the death of Antonin Scalia. Notice the name Antonin. Let me just show you this real quick on the calculator in real time. Remember how they said Antonin Scalia was found with a pillow over his head? Look at the gematria of pillow. It's the exact same as Antonin. You see how when I type it in? These two methods of gematria, the most relevant forms you can know, they're based on the alphabetic order. They're very simple. If you watch my How to Gematria video below, you can learn in moments. But anyhow, Antonin Scalia found with a pillow. There's another related form where you just multiply the alphabetic order times 6. Then, anything that's 87 will also be 522. From the Dick Cheney shooting incident, which was February 11th, 2006, it's the day Dick Cheney, the vice president, accidentally shot an attorney quail hunting. From that day until the death of Scalia was 522 weeks. And when I saw that in light of his name gematria, I just thought, no way, that cannot be a coincidence. And notice the name Dick Cheney is the exact same thing. Dick Cheney, also 522. So what I'm trying to say, Truth Seeker, is all of these news events are scripted, planned out from, the shooting, the reported shooting of Dick Cheney accidentally shooting the attorney, to the death of Scalia, to the nomination of this man today specifically. All of these things are planned events, which leads me to think that Dick Cheney didn't really shoot anybody February 11th, 2006. It also leads me to think that Antonin Scalia didn't really die. He had a closed casket funeral. It was never opened at any point, so who knows if anyone was in there. And it also leads me to think that this man being installed is just another puppet that will do his part in the ongoing of an agenda of a nation that we're living out. And that's how it's been since the beginning. People selling us out by the numbers, fulfilling a script. Our government is a puppet show. And we should know that as citizens. I mean, they just pretty much shut down the Supreme Court for a full year. For what? They said just so that the Republicans can put in the next justice? I mean, that doesn't really make sense. We're supposed to shut down a branch of government to wait almost a year for something that seems fair, as the Republicans argued it? I mean, why couldn't the two parties just come up with a suitable justice, put in the best person for the job, and keep the system running? You think that's how it should work. But no, you see, what it really all is planned rituals. This was planned. This man was to be the 113th Supreme Court Justice. And knowing how important that number is to Freemasonry, I'll be interested to see what comes out of this man's career. And again, truth seekers, this is why we have to get out the word about what's really going on in this world and stop the madness. I am going to include this in the book. Right in the book right now, I'm going to have to tuck in this little piece of knowledge too. Have people up to speed as much as possible when this book releases. But this is what I mean. You're aware of this knowledge. In real time, every day, you can decode what's happening. Plus, you can go back throughout history and see how it's always been done the same way, just as I have. So the book's coming true, Seeker. Just had to bring you this video because this is rare news, important information. Until next time.